welcome to your current affairs program on your award-winning channel of choice, Muvi Television. I'm Francesca Phiri Banda, and you are watching The Scoop. This week, hello there, welcome to your current affairs program that brings you news in detail. As Zambia and many other countries continues feeling the brunt of climate change, a 21-year-old UNZA student has embarked on a program to recruit fellow youths in trying to find ways to mitigate this problem. And later on, we'll visit a transit home in Lusaka's Makeni area for refugees. This all coming up on The Scoop. I'm Francesca Phiri Banda, and you are watching The Scoop. Climate change has not only become an environmental issue, but also it is a social issue. Most nations worldwide have embarked on measures to mitigate the effects of climate change. A young man in Zambia has a different approach. 21-year-old Brighton Mukupa is recruiting fellow youth in mitigation against climate change, as Zambia is also adversely affected by this global problem. Brighton believes that youths can make a difference and help mitigate the problem through advocacy. Zambia is one of the countries in Africa feeling the brunt of climate change. The rain pattern has changed as floods are now the order of the rainy season. An environmental student at the University of Zambia feels with the involvement of youths, climate change can be mitigated. 21-year-old Brighton Mukupa has been passionate about the environment since he was in grade 10.
I think climate change is like a ticking time bomb which requires our urgent attention, because we are looking into the future and the welfare and the well-being of the children. And climate change is not only an environmental issue, but also a social issue, because you realize that children in communities and rural areas complement parents by carrying out chores like fetching water, for instance. But because of the vulnerability of climate change, water is going to be scarce and droughts are also going to be unprecedented. And girls, for instance, are going to be forced to walk long distances for them to fetch water, for them to collect firewood to complement their parents. So climate change is a social and environmental issue which needs urgent attention. And I think climate change is important if young people are engaged in its advocacy and mitigation, because we are looking into the future and how young people are going to cope with the changing environment.
He has since embarked on a program called Unite for Climate Change, where he recruits school-going youths and they become climate change ambassador. He has been going to different schools across the country and he shares their experience with the school.
So basically, we're here to recruit new UNICEF Child Climate Ambassadors who are going to take up the mantle of advocating for climate change in their communities and also engaging others in the climate change agenda, because we realize that using climate change as a model to engage young people in leadership is something that is worthwhile. So what we're doing currently is that young people from this school aged between 12 and 19 are taking part in an essay writing competition, which will allow them to take part in the coming Zambian Children's Climate Change Conference, a signature program under the United Nations which engages young people in climate change training for them to be ambassadors in their schools and communities on issues to do with climate change.
Brighton is a UNICEF ambassador for climate change, and the organization has supported his initiative. The organization is pleased with the youth response towards issues to do with climate change.
Youth is a very interesting category of the population. They are very smart, they are very passionate, they can easily be motivated for a cause whenever they feel the logic of it. So it was not challenging. I mean, we had a buy-in immediately from the children, from the youth for this program, and we have great numbers of youth are coming, showing interest, and they are becoming very innovative actually on these programs. In many provinces, they developed relations with the media, even not through us, just their own initiatives, radio programs, TV programs, any other written media. So they are really doing well, and there was not major problem on this issue.
Patrick Slavin, Chief Communications at UNICEF, reveals that the organization has plans to start engaging children who are not in school to ensure that they too are well informed about climate change.
We would love to work with kids who are not going to school as well. And the program to date, all of the climate ambassadors, the more than 1,000 that we've trained, they've all been school-going kids. They've been secondary school kids. So we would love to have the program be able to reach kids who aren't in school, to respect their rights to education and also their rights to learn about climate change and how to live a green lifestyle. And of course, going forward, we want to make this program sustainable. So it's not just a UNICEF project; it's a Zambian project that will, UNICEF is working to actually go out of business in this country. Once we reach our goals in terms of child rights, we will close and go to other countries that are not as fortunate as Zambia. And when that happens, we would love for United for Climate to still be in existence.
He encourages other youths to emulate Brighton's spirit of hard work and has congratulated the young man on his achievements.
I also would like to compliment Brighton on his achievements. He's one of the superstars of the ambassador program. He seized opportunities, and this is about taking advantage of an opportunity. Nothing is given to you. Brighton worked to start his own community radio station in Kitwe that dealt with climate change and HIV issues. UNICEF didn't arrange that. He went, knocked on the door of the station general manager, and it went on for years, and now he started his own NGO. And so other Zambian kids that want this opportunity, I really encourage them to to reach out to climate ambassadors that are in the country, learn about it. You can go to UNICEF Zambia's Facebook page to follow it, and you can learn more about how to become a climate ambassador from there.
In your class or on the streets.
Brighton is just an ordinary Zambian youth who has followed his passion, and lucky for him, a lot of doors of opportunities have opened for him. He encourages fellow youths not to give up on their dreams. Youths are tomorrow's leaders, and with a positive spirit of sharing vital knowledge on issues that affect the human race, such as climate change, the future generations will also get to enjoy the world's natural resources. Zambia is host to thousands of refugees coming from war-torn countries such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, Angola, and Somalia. Over the years, the Zambian government has, with the help of the United Nations, been facilitating basic needs for the refugees such as food, water, and health care, also shelter. The Scoop team visited a transit home for refugees in Lusaka's Makeni area. Now, this transit center is home for refugees who have been in the country, some of them for as long as 20 years, and they say Zambia is the only safe place they have known. Since the early 90s, Zambia has become home to refugees who are running away from the daily wars in their countries. According to a joint study commissioned by the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, International Organization for Migration, IOM, and the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, has found that most vulnerable children migrating to Zambia are originating from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The majority of the children intend to settle in Zambia, while the remainder travel with their parents and do not know where they intend to settle. A survey showed that most migrants came through the northern and northwestern border districts of Zambia, that include Mpulungu, Kaputa, Mporokoso, Kasumbalesa, Nakonde, and Mwinilunga. Jane is among those children from the DRC who migrated to Zambia when she was only months old with her grandmother way back in 1994.
Vananuza chimwenze nkondo ndecha meti nalinga kuti chibwere kuno.
Vanakuuza kuti munaenda bwanji bwera mu Zambia.
Vananuza mwenze cheni kutamanga chabi.
Jane was too young to understand that she was in Zambia because her home country, DRC, then known as Zaire, was war-torn, but says, according to her grandmother, it's a place she never wants to go back.
Why? Chukangonda minenzeko kulingana mbuya mwevenzo nshimikira siningabwerereko futi.
She never wants to go back to Congo and wishes she was Zambian so that she can get a job and earn a living. She says being a foreigner and a refugee, she has had to worry about immigration officers each time she wants to find a job because she has no papers.
Jane
has been living in one of the compounds in Lusaka, but since she had a child last year, she has had no means to raise her. She came into this transit center last year after she got impregnated by a man who denied the child's responsibility. She says she turned to the transit home as it is her only hope for a safe place where she can get 3 meals and a roof over her head. She lives in this one room with her 1-year-old child. Jane wants a bright future for her child and wants to complete school to be able to provide for her child with a good education.
Nifuna first mwana wanga akakula nibwerere ku school. Nikasiza school na eva ende ku school ndeche ningafune bantandizireko. Ero nkasiza school nifuna cheni kambeko chenchito elionse.
65-year-old Ananda Kenya was a cross-border trader coming to sell vitenges or wrappers from Zaire in 1993. However, her business was cut short after war broke out in Zaire, the country now known as the Congo.
Kusambe tunabwera mugusiyana siyana twense kuja kwa mene ku Congo twense kusanga kwa mene twense kunkalira maji pamene tunachoka tunapita lubilo kupita tunanke na sakanya polisi mavera sakanya polisi yamene tunapita so tuangala futi batuko pamene mutukopera pano twapempachi tufuna tunkene bana tufomera bana tutenga tunkene muno musambia bana tufomera tunapichira sakanya polisi pita paja sakanya polisi pamene tunankene batu fomeresa batunkenesa batuika paja pa muno musambia panani pa lwasha batu chosa pa lwasha batupeleka ku chanyu ku mayeba.
Anna lives in Chivolia compound with her children and grandchildren. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, is paying for her rentals through a UN agency known as Action Africa Help Zambia. Here, free books are offered for refugees who are school-going within communities, and Anna has been getting free books for her children and grandchildren. She says her and her family are not safe in the compound and is scared for their lives.
Ndolo yasira ine sisabwela kwato sitayabwelele ine chufukwa bamene balipo basiba bamene banapaya mwamuna wanga basapaya bana banga basanyipaya na yini avela kulibe kubwela napita mu byambiji muno musambya kwamene nyikala nyibwela kupeleka dipoti na ba polisi bonse basiba bamabwela pa nyumba bakwilako bantu bataba sochabe kunyibela kunyifuchisa kumenya bashikulu banga bamuna bamene inatengela.
Sherry is from Somalia and she came to Zambia in 2003. She was living in Chaisa compound and got married to a fellow Somalian with whom she has 3 children. One would ask, how did she find herself in this transit home for refugees? Sherry is here for protection and care. She found herself between a rock and a hard place when her husband started abusing her and her children. And to add to that, she was a refugee who had no family to turn to.
You beat me, you taking my children, you say I'm taking children from Somalia. Me, I'm saying no, I'm not going from Somalia, my children, so you beat her. That's why me, I'm run away here.
Okay, do you want to go back to Somalia?
No.
Why?
Because Somalia, no peace, no protection. I don't have families, I don't have relatives.
When did you come to Zambia?
I'm coming in 2003.
How did you come?
I'm coming for my relative, my people is died fighting for Al-Shabaab. Me, I'm run away from Zambia. I'm finding for peace for Zambia. So, and after I'm coming to Zambia, I'm married man for Somalian man. Again, you divorced me, you trouble me. That's why me, I'm coming here.
She, like other refugees we spoke to here, doesn't want to go back to Somalia because most of her family members died in war. She says she is comfortable in this one room she shares with her 3 children at the transit home.
I want to help the government of Zambia. You help me, you give you for protection, good protection, is give you this house and this refugee, you give you for card. Before me, I don't have card, I don't have any document, so I'm run away from home affairs. I'm telling you for my problem, that people for home affairs, so is give you for card, you give you for protection.
The UN report has also revealed that most migrant children are accompanied with only 2.3 unaccompanied. This 14-year-old boy, Kelvin, is one of them. He fled into Zambia by boat with his cousin in 2014 and is now sheltering here. He says before running away from the war in DRC, he used to be in school but has since stopped. He doesn't want to go back for obvious reasons and hopes to start a new normal life in Zambia.
Sisi tunabwera na transport ni mavuto chetu tunabwera na kaboti ya kufaka papulungu kaboti kangono tuzitota bakondo twabwera mzamba batuchite protection Zambia twabwera mu batuchita protection batubwira mushe
Tuzokana bandani ku
Kongo tuzitoka nkala na bamami betu bamwalira mu kondo chetu ataba naise.
Action Africa Helps Zambia is a UN agency running the transit home in Lusaka.
UNHCR and AAH pays particular attention to strengthening the protection of women who are victims of SGBV. We have a safe house, and unfortunately we have never had cases where we have had to host a couple. The majority that have come through this center seeking protection are women and the children. So we receive them and we place them in the safe house, and we have a legal counselor who takes up the cases. She profiles them and then she can present them to lawyers at Ministry of Home Affairs, that is the Commission of Refugees, and working closely with lawyers in the Office of the Country Representative, UNHCR, they are able to look at the cases in full and push that justice is served.
Simple as it may look, this transit home is a safe haven to refugees and they never want to look back. A visit here makes one thankful for living freely in our own country. Zambia is indeed a haven of peace, and the peace enjoyed should not be taken for granted, as others would do anything to have that peace. Before we end the program, a proverb of the week. This week's proverb says, "Only a fool tests the depth of water with both feet." Only a fool tests the depth of water with both feet. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of your Current Affairs program. Be sure to join us again next week at the same time. On behalf of the entire Scoop production team, thank you so much for the pleasure of your company. Have a lovely week. Goodbye.